We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Hear the drummer get wicked. Here we go again.
It's Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's good, bro?
Hey man, it has been a little while. And I just realized I can't hear you in my headphones, but I think that I'll see why. I'm just sitting here talking away and
Mm.
realize that my headphone joint ain't plugged up though, man. I mean, it's been a minute though, man. What you been up to?
Life is life, and bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's like, uh, Layla went to college, and then I've been to Vegas, out here singing the national anthem worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah. Uh, that's really been what's been going on with me. What about you?
Man, you know what's funny, man? Musically, I've been kind of doing my thing though, bro. So I've had an opportunity to finish all of the mastering and mixes for the boy Fresh 8 Bounce. I think that by this week, I'm looking to go ahead and wrap up the boy Ryan's Pretty Boy Ryan stuff. And oddly enough, right before we were on, I was sitting here trying to finalize a few mixes on some of my own. So I've been making a lot of progress. The one thing I think that's been really dope though, man, is that I think that like you and I have been buying new plugins and making new investments and stuff like that here lately. And I think that one of the things that's been challenging is that I actually challenged myself to say, okay, well, you know what? I want to try to use all of the new stuff. I don't want to necessarily go to my old versions of things unless I had to. So
Hmm.
new EQs, compressors, delays, reverbs, the whole 9 yards. So that's been really cool because the sensitivity and the differences of those versus some of the ones that I had, it was kind of trial and error though, bro. So had been having a blast with that though, man. And I think that one of the things that's been kind of interesting, man, is that you and I talked before that we wanted to see about the rollout. And so now that I'm getting closer and closer to, I think that I'm about 90% done. And I think that now I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to figure out the rollout and which of these first five up that I'm gonna go ahead and do. Because I think now that my project is gonna end up being about 15 songs. And so I think that to roll
Yeah.
it out, I'm thinking about doing like a release a song every couple of weeks. And so I got to figure out how I'm gonna do it. But I am pretty excited because here lately I've been able to just really immerse myself into just the music. And so yeah, I've been happy with a lot of the results though, bro. Absolutely.
That's what's up, man. I'm super proud of you and super jealous at the same time because, like I said, life been life, and over here, your boy ain't even been able to get into the lab. Like I've been in the lab, but not anything that I would say productive because I can't put nothing out with it. But now that the girls are both settling in with college and Charlie's back in school, things are gonna settle out for me. I got the state
Mhm.
fair coming up. We got two performances this year. Like I said, I got another national anthem coming up, which I'm dropping the flyer for that tomorrow. It's for man, let me not get this wrong because this is such a big deal. Let me just tell you what's on the flyer. It is for it's a K1 challenge event, and it's gonna be at the Trey Young Event Center out here. So it's gonna be a big deal, bro. Husky Fat Promotions is in associations with K1. The winner of this particular fight night, they go to Tokyo to fight. And
Mm.
so it's gonna be like anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 people in attendance, man. And it's gonna be streamed, and so this is gonna be a pretty big deal. So your boy gonna be out there shining.
Okay. So listen, what shoes you pull it out for?
Man, there's something blinging, bro. I don't know if I'm pulling out the Adidas sparklies or if I'm gonna pull out the Samba joint. So I'm gonna pull out the Jordan ones. You know, those is classic. That's blinged out. So it's gonna be one of the. I might, or I might pull out the Jordan 11s blinged out. So I don't know. It's gonna be something blingy because I want people from the rafters, wherever they sitting. I want them to be able to see the boy shining. So I might even I might even do the hoodie with the shorts, just because I got this blinged out hoodie that I have not worn yet. So I don't know. Or I might just go classic with the Ace Kennedy blinged out logo, something. But it's gonna be something bling.
Hey man, let's get that music going. Let's tell these people what time it is, bro.
Hey.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The greatest podcast of all time.
Hey, listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube, Facebook pages, our Twitch page, our TikTok page. Listen, we go live on all platforms at the same time. You click on the notification, you click on the notification, you click on the bells, you get the heads up whenever your boys are doing their thing. It's been a minute, Ace Kennedy.
Bro,
Ace Kennedy.
stumbling over them words.
I was stumbling on it. The words was fighting back, bro.
Yeah.
Hey man,
What's up?
I got a question for you.
What up?
Okay, listen. Let's get right to this.
Yeah.
Does the WNBA have a problem, bro?
No, they don't have a problem. They
So
don't have a problem. Here's the thing, bro. You got to understand that the WNBA had to do something to get more eyes on the WNBA. Talent alone just wasn't going to do it. And Caitlin Clark was only going to take them so far. So controversy, just like we know, entertainment sells, right? At the end of the day, it's basketball, but it's entertainment, right? So you got to take a page out the WWE, the AEW, like all of the entertaining aspects of stuff. Sometimes a little controversy goes a long way. So if you're getting more eyes on your product, and don't get me wrong, I get how people can say not all publicity is good publicity, but some of it is just people out here peopling. For instance, of course, some of the bigger controversy is the WNBA just basically says that the WNBA is for women. But it doesn't go any further than that. It doesn't say anything about trans women. It doesn't say anything about people who identify as women. It doesn't say anything like that. So you had two former professional athletes that threw their hat in the ring and basically said that they were going to enter into the draft of next year. One being Enes Kanter, Enes Kanter's Freedom, who used to play for the Thunder when Steven Adams was there. And the thing is that, you know, Freedom has been an advocate for a while, ever since he got out the NBA. So he's, you know, dealt with a lot of stuff politically, and he's one of those people that will attack stuff head on. So, you know, he has some merit on stuff that he does. But a lot of people were like, look, I understand what y'all was doing, but at the same time, people are going to look at it as it being trolling. Because if you were serious about making sure that a trans person or someone of that nature could actually play in the NBA, in the WNBA, why not find a trans person to back to get into the WNBA versus you guys getting out here, putting on wigs, doing this, that, and the other to facilitate your point. So I understand where a lot of people are coming from, because here's the thing. The point is the message, right? So is the message being received by the masses, or are you looking like you're mocking your message? So if the receiver doesn't receive the message, then it's not really a successful transmission. So I personally am starting to lean towards that, because I like Entis Canner and I think he's dope. But at the same time, I do understand the point of, why not find a trans person and help them get to the WNBA if that was your goal?
I love the idea of freedom of speech. And I think that part of the issue, part of his thing is why he's not in the NBA is, I think, because of him exercising his freedom of speech. I think that his dad was into politics in Turkey. And I think that his dad was jailed behind pushing freedom of speech and whatnot. So I totally get what he actually is doing. To me, I think, to be quite honest with you, though, I don't like what he's doing with the WNBA, nor do I like what Royce White is doing. Because here's my thing about it. I feel like if you want to play basketball, play in the NBA. Like, if you still got it, go try to play in the NBA, but you washed out of the league for one reason or another, right? So here's my thing about it. So what I don't like about Royce White is that people try to, he's not in the NBA. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and his is pretty old. So he was a very high draft pick, had a fairly upwards career at some point when he, if I'm not mistaken, played for Houston. He got out of the league because I think that he had like some mental issues. I'm not know mental issues. He had something concerning his mental health, but specifically with the rigors of traveling in the NBA. And so he was looking for different concessions that nobody was looking to make, if I'm not mistaken on that, though, right? And so ultimately, it was just decided that, okay, well, listen, if he's not going to fit in the league on that one, right? But my thing is this, though, bro. It's like, well, that was the reason why you wasn't playing in the NBA, but the travel ain't gonna be any different than the WNBA. So how is that? You want to do that? I think that you are making, to me, it's almost like, to me, somebody who is trying to be somebody who's playing devil's advocate for something that they probably don't really care about. It's like if you sitting here talking about something, right? And I don't care, I don't have a dog in the fight, and I'm like, well, let me just put it to you this way. What do you think about this? And what, and the thing that he's doing, that both of them are doing, are things that I absolutely can't stand that people do. When you really don't care one way or another, and you're trying to put your voice to something that you really probably don't care two shits about, right? And so in the process of that, I think that you are then making while you are trying to be an advocate for one, I think that you're also trying to make a mockery of the league. And I think that that's intentional to me. And you're doing it all on the strength of you trying to be devil's advocate for something that I don't think that you care about. They're not trying to back a trans athlete because they don't really care, right? I think that they're hijacking. I think that they are doing a 45 felon. They are hijacking this particular topic to draw attention to them and maybe some of the other causes that they care about, bro. But I don't think that they're not gonna back a trans athlete, because I don't think that they care like that, though, bro.
Well, I don't know that they don't necessarily care about it. I think they care about the language, and that the WNBA isn't taking a stance. Here's the thing. You have a couple of coaches wearing shirts on the game talking about, letting trans women play or something like that. Like, the problem is the WNBA could have closed this door by just coming out and saying, listen, our bylaws read this way. This is the interpretation. Boom, it's over. They didn't do that.
True.
So the thing
But when
is,
you say you're for LGBTQ, then the T is there. So I understand what they're saying.
right, but you also, I think that even if you didn't want to come out and say no to trans women, right, and they said, hey, we would evaluate everything on a case by case basis. You have to. The thing is that once you're put on that platform and you are a publicly traded brand, or whatever you want to call it, you do have to take a stance some kind of way. Like, the thing is that if you say no, you're gonna lose some people. If you say less, yes, you're gonna lose some people. But not saying anything is also keeping the conversation and the WNBA in the news, So again, that controversy generates eyes. So I understand.
Yes, I'm not mad at them saying, hey, as long as they don't say anything, like you said, that attention, whether it's unwanted or not, it's still attention. And I'm gonna be honest with you though, man. It is definitely eyes on the league from a casual perspective. Like I still consider myself a casual WNBA fan, right? And when I say casual, I watch some games. I try to keep up with what's going on, the highlights and everything like that. But I don't know like whole rosters, right? I don't know the Atlanta Dreams full roster. I know a couple of players, you know what I'm saying? And so from that regard, so man, it is something we're talking about it now, right? So I think that that's something that like you know what I'm saying that I think that hey, you know what they got to at least ride that some attention's better than no attention. I think it's something but in terms of them saying that they're going to enter the league, I think that they're really trying to make a mockery, and I don't think that that's something that they care that much about. I think that it's just them really drawing more attention. These two particular people draw attention to other causes and things that they are interested in. I don't think that Enos Cantor wants to go and play. If they say, okay, well, come on then, bro. Like he's not going to actually go right? Royce right. If they say we gonna draft you, come on. He ain't gonna go out there, bro. So stop it. Stop it.
No, and like I said, there's other stuff because Caitlin Clark gets beat up every other game. Her teammate recently got hit in the back of the head. And that was a whole thing too, because old girl came out and posted white privilege during the game after she just got flagrant 2 kicked out the game. So it's a bunch of stuff going on with the W, bro.
And
Uh
listen,
what's up?
and speaking of that, what this is the thing I think that is interesting about the WNBA is because they have it's a very unique pool, right? And when I say that, I mean pool of players. So here's the perfect example there, right? So in the NBA, even though we've saw this influx of foreign players, it's still a primarily black league, right? And I think that if I'm not mistaken, if you did a demographic check, the WNBA is also primarily black, right? So you have
Except
that dynamic,
except for the Snowtime Lakers, bro.
except for the Snowtime Lakers, right? Them boys, listen. But here's the thing I think that's interesting about it, though, right? I think that the part that makes the WNBA what makes it interesting to me is okay, so the NBA is usually a very progressive league socially, social issues. It is a very progressive. And when I say that if you were talking in terms of blue red, it's blue. Most of the players vote for democratically led issues. They are very much not that they're pro liberals, but they are very progressive. The NBA is a very black league, right? And I think that the WNBA is also a very black league. In comes Caitlin Clark, right? And I think that she is like the liberal darling, and I don't think that she asked for it. I think she really just wants to hoop, but somehow they've latched themselves to her though, bro, right? And so now, anytime there's something that happens to her, it becomes like more than basketball. And I think that she's reiterated several times. Listen, just call it all the time. Call it fairly one way or the other. I think that one of the things that's interesting to me is that on the ground level, things become more political in the WNBA. Like when Dejanay Carrington, listen, fine, bro, fine, 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 and I will talk about that in a second. But when she did that with Sophie Cunningham, it's again Sophie Cunningham spoke out against having trans women in the league, though, right? And naturally, that is a red topic, though, right? And so all the liberals gravitated. Oh, they calling her MAGA Sophie now, like she is like. And all this girl just said was like, "Listen, I don't want to hoop with some trans women. I don't want to be in the locker room. That's her truth, right? And I'm not even mad at her for saying that, though, right? But right off the cuff, though, right? You start to kind of now get those labels associated with her, even if it's not wanted from her, though, right? And I don't think that that's something that I can't think any other league, those kind of issues would have. I don't think that the NBA would ever have this issue. I don't think the NFL would ever have this issue. And I don't think that hockey, baseball, no one but the WNBA would have these kind of issues, though, man.
WNBA, I mean, the NBA has had political based issues and even the NFL, but it's a man saying it.
So the difference, right? The difference to me is that the NBA and the NFL are addressing political issues that aren't necessary, that are brought onto them from the outside. The WNBA seems like theirs is organic. It's on the play level, right? When Kaepernick kneeled, that was him doing his own thing, and nobody said anything about it until your boy 45 blasted it, and then they asked him about it, and then it became a political thing, though, right? But it didn't necessarily have to do with his play per se. They made it about the play. In the WNBA, they're politicizing the actual play. And I think that what makes it interesting is that it's only the play is politicized only when it's black player versus white player. It's never that way when it's white player to white player, black player to black player. And I think that is a thing that I think is it's a dynamic that I can't think of anywhere else where you would have that, right? Like I thought it was going to be a big thing that the WNBA has players that date each other, right? And
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. If you listen, fine is fine, and it don't matter if they hoop. It's some fine women in WNBA, and I'm gonna be honest. I can't help that the ones that I like are the ones that I think look fine, and they fine hoopers though, right? But I thought that it would be weird having players date in the NBA in the WNBA. Now it's a very normal, regular thing, apparently, though, right? And so you got that dynamic that nowhere else has, right? I don't know if they do that, and maybe they do that in soccer, women's soccer. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Don't I thought that there was a couple times where I saw some women dated each other in soccer and everything. But bro, like the WNBA is it's very much a niche thing because of all of these social issues and social economic issues that impact them unlike any other league though, bro.
I could get that. But let's get to the Sophie Cunningham Dejanay. Let's get to it.
So when she said the white privilege, right? I think that like I think we all knew what she was implying, right? And listen, she can dress that and respond to that accordingly. I'm gonna be honest with you though, man. Um, I'm not mad at it for the same reason we were talking about it. We're talking about it now, though, right? And not to say that she is straight going WWE, but inadvertently it is, though, man.
Yeah, but
We've seen the WWE do this. We
right, but
saw Vince McMahon with the wave cap.
I do have a problem with it though, because this isn't the issue to say white privilege for. This one ain't the issue. It was a
That's fair.
foul. It was a hard foul. It was like you said, if it had been a black person fouling a black person, that same black person would have been ejected.
Would they? But what she's saying,
I
what
know
she's
that.
saying
Okay,
though, is
listen,
would that have been the case?
right. But here's the problem. She didn't stand on that because in
Okay, that's true.
response, she said that's not what she meant. So if you didn't mean that, what did you
Mhm.
say it for?
That-
And why? Because you didn't explain,
See-
and you left it up to
see-
interpretation, and you tagged the fever in the post. So the thing is,
Facts.
if you would have stood on it and said, yeah, if that had been a black person fouling a black person, they wouldn't have been ejected. Or if a white person had did that to a black person, they wouldn't have been ejected. You didn't stand on it. So since you didn't stand on it, then no, you shouldn't have said it.
I don't. I'm not mad at that, and I don't necessarily disagree with that at all. But what I think is the thing is that again, the same way how people now bring in the politics on their level now, they're introducing this political part. Like that's not something that I could ever see LeBron James getting fouling Luca or Cooper Flag and then getting ejected. And LeBron said, "Oh yeah, that's white privilege." Like that's just something that doesn't happen in the NBA though, bro.
Yeah, but I'm
And within
okay.
men's sports in general.
Right. But I'm okay if that was the case, but she didn't stand on it. So my
I
thing
get
is
what you
that
mean.
if that's why I'm saying you wasted that card on a something that was not that issue.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying that
Because
you
listen,
got the card to play, but be selective on when you pull that out and stand on it when you do.
you have to, because here's the thing. When something does happen where it is, and now you come out and say something, how are people supposed to look at you from that point? Because you didn't stand on it the first time. And then when we tried to come to your defense or even agree with you, you walked it back. So that's what I'm saying. You pulled out the card, and then it's almost like when you playing cards and you throw out the joker, but then you ain't want nobody to know you had the joker and you try to pull it back. It don't work like that. You can't. Once you drop the card, is out there.
I get it, man. I mean, but listen, bro. I just think that it's just interesting. Like even before, right, when they were doing the fact that it was the fever, right? And
Mhm.
so it's like, you got it's Caitlin Clark's team. And before it used to just be the whole Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark thing. And now it's just like, all right, well, now that it's not even that, it's like it's always something. And it's weird because I like that though, bro. It's gonna sound crazy because it's like I want to just watch the basketball, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not just watching the basketball already. So then it's just like, well, what else? What else? What else you got? Right?
I
I
get it.
think that's the thing though, bro. It's like it's almost like how in the NBA, okay, it's a perfect example. It's like how the NBA tries to dominate the postseason as well after the season's over with free agency. They were saying, hey, we were waiting to put out the NBA schedule because we wanted to see what team LeBron was going to go to, right? And even then, the fact that Adam Silver said that, right? It's like, well, damn, now it's another NBA highlight, a headline that's coming in the offseason. Leo, I think this is again, all of this stuff is just hype and conversation that I don't think that's bad. It's bad noise. I think that it is additional conversation driving into the playoffs, though, bro.
It is, but again, I'm all for the antics. I'm all for people. You gotta have a Dylan Brooks in the WNBA, right? You gotta have what's my boy the name that it used to go at Russ all the you gotta have a Patrick Beverly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta have them characters. We get it. People that's playing the villain for the TV. It's you gotta have a Dennis Rodman. You gotta have a personality. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have an Ant-Man. You gotta have them in the WNBA. But at the same time, though, you also have this massive platform, and what you're saying is happening in that league, but you
Mhm.
got to stand on it though. And
I get
then
it.
that's my only thing. Like, be responsible for your platform. That's my only thing. 'Cause you got you know what I'm saying? Because Acho and them picked it up, and then she went back at Acho, and it's just like, bro, like you left that up for interpretation. You didn't come out and explain it. You just said what you said, tagged who you tagged, and then getting mad when people interpreted it the way they interpreted it. Again, it goes
Hey,
back
man.
to the receiver didn't receive the message, so it was a bad transmission.
Hey, bro. Hey, she fine. She getting away with pretty girl privilege, though, bro.
So she got the pretty girl privilege.
She got pretty girl privilege, though, bro. And she could just say, listen, bro, she got pretty girl privilege where she could just say it, how you interpret it, she could take it and be like, that ain't what I meant. You say how you meant it. Don't worry about it. That's pretty girl privilege, though, bro. Pretty girl privilege allows for a certain level of not being accountable, though, man. Just comes with being pretty, though, man.
Yeah. All right, man. We got two other sports topics that I want to get into, and then of course we gotta. Did you watch the Lanterns?
Trying to watch it tonight, bro.
Oh man, come on, bro.
Was supposed to watch it till yesterday. Was I told you I was gonna watch it yesterday? Watch Lioness instead.
Yep,
And
we watched the
then
Lioness
my
too.
listen, my co-watcher fell asleep on Lioness when I was gonna watch Lantern, and then the co-watcher just stayed asleep for the rest
Bro,
of the
we gonna
night
fool around and
and
make
never did get a chance to watch it.
everything. Okay, I'll say this without spoiling it. Then the ending for episode 1 is on fire, bro. Like them boys came out the gate was like, look,
Damn.
it's episode 1, bro, and they was like, hey, spoiler, boom. Like it just, I mean, off the cuff. So it's this is what I'll say. For anybody that's a superhero fan, cool. But if you're not, it's still a good show. It's a true detective suspense thriller. It's got action, and then boom, there is a hint of superhero. It's almost like how Penguin was, but Penguin didn't have any superhero stuff in it. Like there was
Hmm.
nobody with powers, so you could believe everything outside. You knew that this was the Penguin. Well, this is a hint of superhero stuff. I mean, it's in there, but it ain't the main attraction, so to speak. It's still got that true crime, true detective vibe going on. So that's what's dope about it. But all right. So
Okay.
anyway, that's what I want to say about that. So what do you want to get into? You want to get into Pablo versus the Clippers, or you want to get into Shields?
Let's get to Clarissa though, bro.
So did you watch the whole card?
I saw highlights of most of the card.
Okay.
And specifically, we could get into the Ray J. We can get into the Ray J Orlando. Because
Well, mhm.
you told me, oh, nah, Ray J been taking it serious. He been out here training. And when I
telling you
saw
what that
both
man-
of these
I'm
boys
telling you
with
what
their
that man-
shirts off,
I'm telling you what that man said. He the one went on the Breakfast Club talking about he had to redeem himself. He got AB training him. He got, this person in his corner, and he doing this, he doing that. But then of course, Ray J, and he got out there after he won and said, hey, we want to come out here and entertain y'all. So, people knew what it was, but I mean, at the same time, the stands were still full. And I'm gonna be honest, the best fight of that undercard of the celebrity cards was the baddies. The baddies fight was dope. Whoever the little skinny baddie was, she took it serious. Like she seemed like she went to a real camp. She was throwing real blows. She had the entrance. She had like she wasn't like out there trying to show off her body. Like she legitimately had a for real boxing outfit on, and she was throwing them things. And she won that thing for real. And the other chick who she fought, she had on the lingerie boxing outfit. Them things was popping out every time. Them things was pop. They had to try to retape them and everything because them things was popping out when she was getting popped. Them things was popping. So that was a good fight. But the security guard fight was dope too. It was the two security guards. The one Samoan dude came out there. It was tagging that dude, bro. Not hit this dude so hard, the old boy's shorts came down. He couldn't pull him up because he had on the boxing gloves. Somebody else had to pull his shorts up, bro. It was. I'm telling you, the undercard fights was dope. Because I'm gonna tell you, the fight before Clarissa and them was trash.
so I do like that. I do like how everybody showed up. It was a star-studded event, though, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I do like how it was. I like that it was a lot of us out there because it was a very black card, though, right? And so even with that, though, I like that for black celebrity, right? It was like it was some A-listers, a bunch of B and C, some D's, but they was all in the same place, though, bro. And I think that I at least respected that. I respected that when you looked in the audience, you're like, oh, there goes so and so. Oh, there goes so and so. That I thought that was dope. And I say that because a lot of times, though, man, like you get that kind of fanfare when you see some of these UFC events, though, man. But UFC is very universal, right? But I think that when you have a card that's so black, I think that it was good that black people came out and supported the event, though, man. I thought it was real fire.
I do too. The only thing I had an issue with, I ain't have an issue with none of the performances. Like, we gonna do what we do. I had an issue when you're trying to sing the national anthem. That's what I had an issue with.
They should have called you.
They should have called me, because you cannot say I'm effing up while you're singing the anthem.
Who sung the national anthem?
Two unknowns. To two unknowns to me, because there was one girl. Both of them were recording artists, but they must have been Atlanta-based artists or artists that work with what's the name of the company? Oh my gosh, it just ran across my head. Whatever company that Ray J and them is a part of. They had the undercard. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whatever that company is, I can't think of them, but they must have been artists associated with them. But there was a girl singing it, and she says, while she's singing the anthem, she says, "Oh man, I'm effing up," and then kept on singing. And I'm like, bruh, come on. The second girl who sang before, like, the main event, she did her thing. The crowd was just booing the whole time, and then when she got to some of the later notes, when she started hitting it, then they started cheering. But it was like almost like whoever she was, they didn't like who she was. Not so much.
Erica Raven.
Was she the one that sang at the main event?
Yeah, I guess so.
But
Sang
yeah,
the national anthem at the Clarissa and K Scott boxing match. Her performance ahead of the fight went viral on social media, drawing mixed action and heavy discussion online.
yeah. Because I mean, she sounded good. The second girl did. The first girl who sang around the Ray J and them time, she was the one that was like talking in the middle of her singing, and I was just like, man, like, nah, you like, if you're not gonna take the anthem seriously, then don't sing it. But they had another girl that did the black national anthem. She killed. And then they had somebody singing the Australian national anthem.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was I don't know, man. I didn't see all of it live though, man. But I mean, like I said, it seemed very entertaining from what I've gathered though.
It was, and it was the first time that I've ever saw her fight. I've never even watched highlights from her, so I wanted to see how she fought. And the fact that, so the girl that she fought, she sparred her, and Clarissa didn't even remember her. And she was like, "Look, I think I have a chance only because she done lost all this weight, so she's not gonna have the same power. And when we sparred, I was able to get some licks on her. So I think that if I come out here my A game, that I can win." And I think in her heart of hearts, I think the girl knew she was gonna lose, but it was probably one of those, hey, biggest opportunity I'm gonna get, and it's probably one of the bigger paydays I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get this national attention. I gotta do it. But very decisive fight. It wasn't, barely an inconvenience for her. And bro, listen, when they threw the towel in for that girl, boy, it was about 25 towels that
Hey, listen, bro. I saw that it was big towels too, though, bro.
big
They
towels.
took they wasn't doing they didn't have the little short towels. They had the whole ones, like they took a shower out there though, boy.
They took the towel straight from the hotel, bro. All the big towels, and threw all of them in there. Listen, this is the referee need his behind whoop for what he did, because the girl was clearly wobbly. And you know how they get you and stand you in front, they stand in front of you and hold your gloves up. The girl had wandered off into the center of the ring. He had to go get her and bring her and then put her gloves up, and she was just kind of like, The ref should have saw in her eyes, because as soon as he released her, they threw all them towels in there, bro. It was crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord Jesus, though, man.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
Pablo and Kawhi, though.
so unfortunately, the NBA has come. It's a lot of mixed messages going on. So Pablo has two stories out. One about obviously the Kawhi. They're dropping like a 14 or 19 series documentary about the Kawhi incident because it was not just Aspire that was funneling money, but also the Tigertron company that the Intuit Dome has is also funneling money. And the thing is the reason why that's a big deal is because that Tigertron company was about to go out of business. And when Steve Ballmer and them hired them to do the Intuit Dome, that's what put them back on the map. And then there was a soccer complex that they did from Rhode Island. They also, so that's how the Kawhi thing got attached to it. And the problem is they have emails coming from the Clippers, not Steve Ballmer himself, but coming from the Clippers. There's emails going back and forth between them and the Tigertron company. Like, look, y'all need to make this joint happen. And then you have the Lakers that came out and said, look, yeah, Kawhi and his uncle was asking us for some side money. You know what I'm saying? So you have all of this information, all of these emails, all of these people that formerly worked for the Clippers, that currently work for the Clippers, that formerly worked for the Tigertron company, that currently work for the Tigertron company. All of these people with accounts of the Clippers had knowledge. And the NBA comes out and says, we find no evidence of Steve Ballmer funneling money to Kawhi. And I kind of
believe that.
No, I absolutely don't believe it because there's another report that says that report is not false, but we will release that information when the investigation is complete. So there's a bunch of misconstruing information. But I do believe that the Clippers are going to skate off of this because they have to. If you're Adam Silver, what are you going to do? Because you know this is not an isolated incident. There is other teams and other players that have received money in the same manner. You cannot open that Pandora's box. You have to.
I agree with you. I think that you basically can't put it out there that the league's cap has been circumvented, because when you do that, what's the point of a cap? Right? If you say, well, then at that point it would be like NIL money. Yeah, we could go ahead and get you these side deals. So we might say, hey, to hit the cap, right? We may be able to go ahead and get you, $15 million, right? But we still want to get you 20 total. So we pay you 15, but we can give you this little endorsement deal over here, and they're gonna get you another 5 or get you another 7. I think at that point, it's like, what's the point of us? I think what's the point of a salary cap if you still are gonna do that?
Absolutely. There's now. Do I wonder what happens though, because you gotta be okay. The NBA would have a very uphill fight if they was going to try to put any type of sanctions on to Steve Ballmer, because if they said, look, based upon this, we ain't had this happen in XYZ amount of years, we're gonna have to suspend you from the league. You're gonna have to sell off the team. Okay, where they gonna play? Because that's my arena.
They're gonna play back where the Lakers play it again.
Go back to crypto, because you ain't playing in the Intuit Dome. And Steve Ballmer got deep pockets. We can tie this up in court, bruh. Let's do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that what else is the NBA gonna say? But I don't think it's nothing either, though. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's something.
Oh no, it is something. And I'm so mad at people, like mad at Pablo Torre for doing his job. Like, it's like, oh, you got a personal vendetta against Kawhi. You only coming after Kawhi. No, if there's a smoking gun, what do you mean? What am I supposed to do? Like,
if you're a journalist, investigative journalist, you got to investigate.
I'm investigating and here's the thing. Again, like I said before we started, that ain't the only story that's out. He also got the story about the Lakers, about how all of a sudden they had to sell after 9 months. The guy who bought from the Buss family, he also is the Dodgers owner. He gifts Donald Trump a World Series ring. And then now he's got some financial issues that's coming out from a whistleblower from his other industries that he's working, because people's like, bro, how did you even get 10 to drop on the Lakers anyway? And so there's some other stuff, and apparently there's some Saudi Arabian, uh, allegedly some Saudi Arabian money that's tied into the deal and stuff like that. So he's going a quick sell. He's for 12 million, so he needs some more liquid asset basically, and he's selling it to Kushner's brother and Jared Kushner's brother and Bob Iger, who used to be over Disney.
Hmm.
And so then it goes further than that because, of course, again, and that was an over the weekend sale, right? And that's after only having a team for 9-10 months. Then another report comes out that says the Buss family are going to sell their 17% of the team. And Jeannie was like, hold on now. No, we ain't. All 5 of the siblings have to agree to sell it. And her lawyer released a statement that said, Jeannie ain't selling. I don't know what y'all talking about. So it's a bunch of stuff going on with the Lakers sale and with whether or not the Buss family are still going to be a part of it. Everybody kind of has said over the years that the siblings don't get along ever since dad died.
Mm.
So, it's just unfortunate it has to be so public. And then, of course, it makes LeBron look like a hero from getting away from all of that because it's like, well, did he know? But, but I don't think Pablo is actually picking on Kawhi. I just think he is just actually doing his job and that he is reporting what's being given to him. And he's saying some stuff that, is pretty dangerous because people are like, bro, you are barking up a tree doing this. And it's either you gonna be silent or somebody gonna silence you. And that's what's crazy. What you think about it all though?
Listen, I like Pablo Torre though, bro. I think that I honestly think that Pablo Torre comes from that old school investigative journalism. And I think that, like you said, if it's smoke, he's going to investigate to see if it's a fire, though, bro. I think that the big thing is that I think it is worth mentioning. The Clippers one specifically, though, right, is worth looking into because I think that it's, like I said, if you look into that and you go through setting that precedent, then it's like, what's the point of the salary cap? But with the Lakers piece of it, though, right? I think that it is one of those things of just like, all right, well, what kind of due diligence do you actually do? Because when the Lakers, so when teams sell, the Lakers board of governors has to approve of that as well. So it's like, well, even though the Lakers were saying to sell, the NBA had to approve that. So what kind of due diligence you did to approve of these new owners, though, bro? It's almost like how the Mavs owner was just like, hey, we want to put a casino at the arena. But then if the city of Dallas ain't gonna let them do that, well, we're gonna move the team, right? It's like, well, shoot, you mean tell me when y'all bought the team or y'all agreed for them to sell the team that wasn't something that was considered? So it's like part of it has me thinking because of Pablo Torre, like who didn't do their homework on the acquisition of this Lakers, though. It makes sense that the Jeannie Buss and the Buss family says, hey, listen, if all 5 siblings have to agree on it, and then all 5, all it takes is the one to do, then it's just like, okay, well, I guess that 17% stake isn't going anywhere. But even still, the majority stake that they were talking about, though, man, that's worth, to me, that's definitely worth digging into, though, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd be curious to see. I'd be curious to see what happens out of it, though, man. Absolutely.
Well, the reason why the Clippers thing we keep bringing that up is because also that trade is connected to it. You got like Brandon Ingram is in limbo, Kawhi is in limbo. Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing about this trade? People need to be getting ready for training camp.
I think that because of that, though, man, and all the other dominoes in motion, I think that they are gonna go ahead and move forward with it. But I think they're gonna keep the eye out on Ballmer, though, bro. Yeah,
He don't care.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, what you got going for the week, though, bro?
Um, like I said, bro, I got the national anthem coming up, so I'm gonna be trying to figure out who's going with me because I would love to get some BTS for that. Because it's supposed to be such a huge event. But other than that, man, uh, this is actually Charlie's first official week of school, so trying to just make sure her routine is tight, and she's about to start dancing again and stuff like that. So just a lot of just trying to get these new schedules locked down so we can all kind of settle in. The other thing that happened too over the break was my we ended up putting my dog down. So that was another kind of change in the house. And so again, just trying to get all the changes locked in so everybody can just kind of settle down and get into their routine for the year. That's basically it.
Yeah. You know what, man? The big thing for me, man, is I'm actually trying to set up to go ahead and record me a couple of red light mic drops. I'm pretty excited about it, though, man. Yeah. So
wait to
that's
see
gonna be the highlight of my week, though, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you ain't see the new phone, bro. I told you it's joint little.
Oh yeah, it's wide.
Yeah, when that thing opened up.
That look big to the mug, though. But it like a little from the screen, it like an iPad, bro.
Exactly.
It like a half an iPad folded up.
But yeah, when it's just a little phone though, it's just a little joint. So
yeah. That's tough.
All right, man. Well, let's get these people on out of here.
Let's take them home then, bro.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all for joining us. We the Slash Brothers from ATL to OKC. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
It doesn't matter what your name
The
is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig
of all
it,
time.
sucker?